Alright, Shalom Akim, Shalom Yasharallah. First off, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. That's the brother Izar out here in Midland, Texas. And I want to go over a subject, which I touched on last week. But the subject is about RFID, all right, which is the mark of the beast. So that RFID technology is inside your phone, all right. That's what keeps all that information to your phone. That's how they know that you are the owner of that phone. It's inside your debit card, which has your information of your bank, all right, routing number, all that stuff is already inside that debit card. You see, it's inside. Right now at work, where I work, they have this little orange deal that they put around, the material that we use, and that material has RFID technology in it. Now that RFID stands for radio frequency identification, you see? So that's why it has it on your phones. The SIM cards are RFID technology, because it's radio frequency identification. It's only to your phone. You see? So let me see if I can get that on my phone. It says RFID. Alright, so it says radio frequency identification uses electromagnetic fields to automatically identify and track tags attached to objects. So when we read that in Revelations, hey, he causeth all small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to worship the beast in his image, all right, those that have the mark of the beast. Now, how can he know where everybody's at? All right, how does he know? It's not little drones or anything like that, man. They might have a part in it, all right, but that RFID technology is gonna pinpoint exactly where you're at. So that equipment that we have at work, you see that RFID technology that they're implementing on those on that equipment is so they can track down exactly where everything is. Because at work, that company that I work for is a big company. But they're losing a lot of money. All right, they're losing a lot of money because they're spending more on people, spending more on making the product than they are on receiving from selling the product. You see, because they're missing a lot of product. A lot of the product that we make there at work, they go out to the field and then they get brought back. Sometimes they're misplaced. So eventually you end up with thousands and hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars missing. You see, last year, we did an inventory check, and that company was missing about $300 million worth of equipment. All right, that's a lot of money for Esau. That's a lot of money coming out of his pockets. So now they're using that RFID technology so that they can place exactly where the pump is at simply by pushing a button. All right, so same thing with people, same thing with your phones. If you lose your phones, you have enough technology nowadays to pay for, all right, that you can actually track where your phone is going. There was this guy at work that he had his phone, and they contracted workers to go over there and build a small wall so that the electronics wouldn't be in the way of the water that's there at that workplace. All right, so as they were building that little wall, that little barrier, the shield, he left his phone on his desk. So while he went to another side, the people, the workers, as they were done, they passed by and they swooped his phone. So on the computer, he looked it up real quick and he saw exactly which trail they were going by. All right, so he called the managers of that company, and they let them know, hey, those guys that were working here, they took my phone. All right, I need you to find out who it is. So he tracked down his phone and he found it eventually by a dumpster because they found out it was being tracked. All right. So same thing with people. All right. Why do you think it's going to be a time of trouble? All right. Jacob's trouble is the time of the RFID chip, man. It's all going to be around the same time. All right. So in that time of trouble, it's going to be a time of trouble because there's nowhere that you can go. There's nowhere that you can hide because you're going to be chipped. All right. And if you are chipped, you're set up for damnation, man. You're set up for destruction. And that's why we're out here in the highways and the hedges. All right. Throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching this truth to let my people know exactly what they have to do to get right with the Lord, man. All right. And first and foremost is fear the Lord. Fear the Most High. All right. Yahweh. Because that's the beginning of knowledge. All right. So once you fear the Lord, He's going to start increasing you in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right. So that's why we're out here preaching to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. All right. Now, a lot of you people are not familiar with the Hebrew Israelites. All right, which are around the four corners of the earth. You have brothers in Germany, brothers in Africa, all right, brothers in London, all over the earth, all right? Without further ado, let me get into Revelation 13. This is Revelations chapter 13 and verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." All right, so a mark in their right hand or in the foreheads. Now today, there was two Edomites, all right, which are the so-called white man, all right, self-proclaimed white man. They are the true biblical Hebrew Edomites, all right? Now these two Edomites, now how do you know that they're Edomites, man? All right, try the spirits by the spirit like the scripture teaches you, you see? So if you try the spirits, you'll come to find out that the so-called self-proclaimed white man really is a Hebrew Edomite, all right? Because of the way he carries himself, the way he talks, all right, the blasphemous things that he says, all right, but not just that, but also his blessing, also his history, all right, showing how much he hates the Israelites, all right, and breaking down the scriptures. You know who the Israelites are, all right? So you become to understand the truth, all right? Come to the understanding that these self-proclaimed white men really are the Hebrew Edomites. All right. Now these Edomites at work, all right, two of them, they were talking back and forth, and what they were talking about was guns. All right, having guns, weapons, and bullets, and all these things that would make up an Edomite. Because when you go back to the book of Genesis, you find out that the Edomites, they have a blessing. All right, and that blessing is the sword, and by the sword they will live. All right, so the self-proclaimed whites are these Edomites, man. All right, because you find out that they've been living by the sword. They've been killing by the sword. What happened to the Negroes, Latinos, the Native Americans? All right, they've been killed by the sword of who? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. All right, now he makes himself look like the Lord, when in reality the scripture tells you that the Lord looks like a so-called Negro. All right, he had burnt skin like brass. Like burnt brass, all right, kinky white hair, which only the Negroes have, you see? So all these things are finally coming out, which is prophecy. The Lord said that in the land of our captivity, we would wake up to the fact of who we really are, all right? So we're Hebrew Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? But now, that doesn't save you. That's not the only thing that can save you, man. You see? Just waking up to the fact that you're a Hebrew Israelite does not save you, all right? That just preps you. Now you have to find out more things. now you have to really have that weight on you. You see? You know, like I always say this, but in the movie, you know, the superhero Spider-Man, his uncle, all right, which is his Uncle Ben, all right, he told him that with great power comes great responsibility. All right, as children of the Most High, we have a great responsibility to go out to the highways and the hedges and teach our people what the truth is, man, and let them know that they're in captivity. They're in the land of their captivity. All right, but in this land, we're supposed to wake up, man. Wake up to the fact of who we really are. You see? So, like I was saying, just knowing that you're an Israelite will not get you saved. Now, there's other things that you need to do: read, study, learn. All right. And really, being rebuked is not a bad thing, man. All right, because you know what's that saying? Oh man, what does he say? You know, in that movie Star Wars, Yoda speaks to Luke. You know, in one of the newer ones, he spoke to Luke and he said, "Nothing have you learned?" All right, and Luke's like, "Well, what do you mean? What haven't I learned?" And he tells him, you know, that the best teacher that you can have is not success. The best teacher you can have is failure. All right, because it teaches you. You see? So through the failure that we lived, it's teaching us. You see? It's taught us to know who we really are. Why is it that we cannot progress in this world? All right? Why can't we progress? Why can't we be great like the so-called white man? Why can't we be millionaires like him? All right? Why can't we own everything like him? All right? When you start asking the correct questions, like the elder in Dallas said, the correct whys. All right? Why are we living the way that we're living? Why are the people in power in power? Why are we at the bottom of the food chain? All right? So you come to the understanding that we're cursed because we are the true children of the Most High. You see? But the people that live lavishly, you know, which you have a lot of 2/3 that do that as well, they're going to be set up for destruction, man. You know? So knowing that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast, that also goes into salvation. All right? Because if you take that mark of the beast, the RFID chip, then you're done. All right? There's no room for repentance for you, man, because you didn't listen. All right? Because just about everybody I know has heard once or twice that the RFID chip is the mark of the beast. All right? And some people believe it firmly, which are the ones that study the scriptures, and some people believe it loosely. All right? Which just hear that those are the right things. You know? So, this is Revelations 16. So like Revelations 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, so that RFID chip is going to be implemented right on your hand. You know, it's the easiest place to put it. You know, going up to clock in for work, you always use your hands, or you type it in. All right, so having it in your hand, you would easily just walk up to the place and just scan it. All right. Now, you know, I don't know. I know brothers have mentioned this before, but in that show, the 100, all right, in the show on Netflix, you can watch it on Netflix. It's called the 100. They show you how there's this little chip, and that little chip is gonna save everybody. That little chip will lead you to not having pain. That little chip is gonna lead you to success. But little do the people know that RFID chip, radio frequency identification chip, is actually the mark of the beast. All right, so that thing is actually going to end up getting you killed. And a lot of Edomites, you know, though they may say they're not going to take it in that time of temptation, when they say you're not worth anything, all right, you're not worth anything unless you get this, all right, they're going to end up doing it, just like their forefather did, you know, in the time of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. In those times, Jacob was exhausted, man. Esau was exhausted brother Jacob, and he was dying of starvation. All right, so he told his brother, hey, can you make me some porridge? And his brother told him, well, unless you sell me your birthright, I'll give it to you. All right. What did Esau do? Esau gave away his birthright. He gave away his birthright. And that's why Jacob is the chosen seed. All right? From Jacob comes the 12 tribes of Israel, which are made up of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And you Hebrew Edomites are actually a self-proclaimed white man, Caucasians. All right? Because the Edomites ended up living in the mountains. You see? And that's where the Caucasians come from. Now they want to say that only cavemen were here first. But you are cave dwellers, man. The Edomites are the cave dwellers. And you were here first before Jacob. There's always, Esau, he's always hiding the truth right in front of you so that you don't see it. You know? So this RFID chip is going to be implemented across the whole world. Alright? It's not like it's going to be the new Exodus, but a lot better. Alright? A lot bigger. In a bigger sense. Alright? Because now he's delivering his people for good. And it's going to be across the four corners of the earth. Alright? Throughout the whole earth. You see? It's not just going to be out of Egypt. You know? It's going to be out of the whole earth. So now our people, that's why we're learning these things and coming to the realization of who we are. You see? To prevent all these things to come. You see? I made a video today about a dream, a vision that was given to me by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And in that vision, I saw death and destruction. Alright? So, in that vision, I knew what time it was. Alright? Because I saw the chariots, which are the so-called UFOs, which are really IFOs, identifiable flying objects. But, as I was seeing these things, I knew what time it was. And I was calm, preserved. I wasn't freaking out, going all over the place. I knew where I was going, alright, because Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai was leading me to them. You see? So, when these things start kicking off, these people, they're all going to be freaked out, man. They're not going to know what to do because they don't have that knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding that the scriptures bring to you. That stability. Alright? So, when you see these things and you can't prove them through the scriptures, you're not going to believe it. Alright? So if somebody just comes up to you and tells you that the Lord is a so-called Negro, you're not going to believe him. Because you haven't read the scriptures. But if you read the scriptures, breaking it down, you come to the understanding that the Lord is a so-called Negro. Alright? Just like if you're building, one of those toy model cars. If you're building a toy model car and you say, well, you can actually put this here and put that there and no one's going to notice, it's going to be the same thing, and you do it, alright? You're not going to know if it's true or not. You're just believing in that person. But when you do your study and you read the instructions, then you come to the understanding that, hey, that doesn't go there, alright? That actually goes like this because this works, alright? The transmission actually works with the engine so that it can shift through the gears and use as much power as possible, determining whether it should hit the red line or not. Alright? Determines whether you should put the full throttle, alright, the full power of the engine, or whether you just want to transmit, loosely a little bit of that power that it has. You see? You come to the understanding of what each part works for. Same thing with the scriptures. You come to the understanding of what each part, meaning the body of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, which are the brothers, comes to work for in the body, alright, to labor. So, the RFID chip is going to be a block, alright, a wall. Not just a spiritual wall that a lot of people have right now. It's going to be a physical wall, from yourself and from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You see? So receiving that mark, alright, which I'm going to get on the blue, is really receiving that. because Esau is dead. All right, he's already set up to be dead, or dead. Salakia. All right, so Revelations 13, verse 16. It says, Mark, in the blue letter, says Strong's G5480, Karagma, alright, and it says a stamp, an imprinted mark. Now that Edomite was talking about, you know, whenever he was talking about the RFID chip, he was happy that it was coming soon. He said by next year this time, he said it will hopefully be implemented. Alright, it will hopefully come to pass. You know, and he said that it's gonna have this little barcode on the he said there's gonna be a barcode on the paperwork, you know, so you can scan it. And I was like, yeah, but barcodes, you know, they're not as powerful as RFID technology. I was like, barcodes only hold a certain amount of information. And as I was talking about these things, that Edomite's face lit up like he was hearing about the kingdom of heaven. All right, because that is his heaven. You see. So as I was talking about these things, I was like, so the RFID is a lot more powerful. And he was like, yeah, hopefully the RFID will help us have tracking systems down to where we know where every piece of equipment is at. All right. But it has to do with that technology, all right, that was given to Esau, with that implementation of his technology. You see, so that barcode that goes only partially into the RFID. You see, because barcode only holds a certain amount of information. It doesn't hold a lot of information. What hour were you born? What minute were you born? Where you were born? What time? What day? You know, what year? How old you were when you went to the hospital for the first time, how old you were when you actually, you know, left the house, how many months you were, everything, man. Every type of information that you could think of, Esau is gonna have it on that RFID chip, which is only about a size of the grain of rice, man. All right. So it says an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Now, what does that word Antichrist mean? All right, anti means against. Christ we know is Messiah. All right, so anti-Messiah. Now, what is anti-Messiah? First of all, what is the Messiah? The Messiah is the truth. All right, he is the light. Now, if he is the truth and he is the light, then what are the scriptures? The same thing. So that's why he's the word of Yahweh. All right, Yahushua is the word. You see, like it says in Hebrews 10:7. Lo, I came in a volume of a book. It is written of me. All right, so Yahushua is that volume of the book, man. So to be anti-Messiah, being against Yahushua, that means you're going against the scriptures. Now, what is sin? Sin is the transgression of the law. All right. So if you're sinning, which is written in the law, all right, the book of the law, then that means you're going against Yahushua. You're going against Yahweh. You see? So to be anti-Messiah simply means to be anti this book. All right, anti the little book, anti the Bible. You see? So when it says right here, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge, all right, a badge is something you carry, all right? So let me look that up in dictionary, all right? Badge. It says badge, a noun, a special or distinctive mark, a token, or a device worn as a sign of alliance. You see? So that badge really represents that RFID chip that you're going to take as a sign of alliance to Esau Edom, to the dead. All right? It says, the membership, authority, achievement, a police badge, a merit badge, any emblem, token, or distinctive mark. Now the RFID chip is a very distinctive mark. All right, people are gonna realize what you have. When you go up to a door or a car or to a bank or anything and you use your hand and you swipe it and it activates, all right, that's very distinctive. People see it, people know it. All right, it also has a bump on your hand and people will also notice that. All right, and you're gonna be chipped up here because your way of thinking, all right, is gonna follow after Esau, Edom. You see, so that RFID chip really is the mark of the beast. You see? So going back to the definition of charagma, which is mark, all right, it says the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. All right, so let's see that word stamped. It says a stamp is to strike or beat with a forcible downward thrust of the foot. All right, so a stamp is a forcible downward, all right, a motion. So when you receive the RFID chip, it's a stake, and they put that chip inside the stake, and they stake you in the hand, and they press down on it so it can push it inside of your skin. That's a stamp, all right? An imprintment, a stamp, all right? It says to bring the foot down forcibly or smartly on the ground floor, etc. All right, so it's really just a motion. All right, so that motion, they're gonna use that stake, all right, and put the RFID chip inside the stake, and then put that stake inside of your hand, and then forcibly push out the RFID chip, which will be a mark to you. You see? So a stamp doesn't necessarily mean what, you go in, when you're going to school and they have these little, these little inks, and then you put a stamp on your hand and it has a smiley face. It's not necessarily a stamp. It's that downward pressing position or a motion, Salakia, that motion that you do. Same thing with the RFID chip, you see? It says of the mark stamped, all right? So now we know what mark is, all right? A stamp, we know what an imprinted mark is, all right? So of the mark stamped, so the RFID chip that was implemented, all right, pressed down into your skin, staked on you, on the foreheads or the right hand as a badge, all right? We know what the word badge means, which is to honor someone. All right, it says of the followers of the anti-Messiah. All right, so the followers of Yahushua and the followers of Yahweh are going to be doing the law, statutes, and commandments, which means they're going to be on accord with the scriptures. The anti-Messiah is not going to be on accord with the scriptures, but instead against the scriptures. So the anti-Messiah, the antichrist, doesn't necessarily mean that there's a person that's going to rise up and say, I am the Antichrist. All right? It means all of the people that dwell on the earth that are against Yahushua. You see? It says, the mark branded upon horses. Now let's see that word branded on the dictionary. Branded. It says marked with a branding iron to show ownership. All right, so Esau Edom is gonna own you if you take that RFID chip. I mean, it can't get any, if you hear these things and you're still doubting, then you're a 2/3, man. You're either a fucking 2/3 or an Edomite or just a damn heathen. All right, because these things are plain to his people. All All right, to the ones that really listen to the Lamb. You see? So a mark marked with a bad branding, iron to ownership. All right? Commerce, carrying the brand or trademark of a manufacturer. Now, who is the manufacturer of the RFID chip? Man, it's windy, man. Now, the manufacturer of the RFID chip is an Edomite, all right? But that Edomite came to the realization that that RFID chip that he built was actually the mark of the beast, all right? And he told you everything that would happen if you take the RFID chip, which is already in the scriptures, all right? But it's prophecy, so it has to happen, you see? It says, let me see. My products. Man, Esau already took it off the internet, man. You know, every time that I have made a video about the RFID chip, man, I would wish this wind would just stop, man. You know? But every time that I've made a video about the RFID chips, there's always been, you know, a quote from the maker, and he said that the RFID chips would actually bring a sore to your hand if you had the RFID chip. You know, eventually there would be a sore that would come out with pus out of your hand, you see? But going back to the definition, the blue letter, alright, it says a mark branded upon horses, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous image. Alright, so if you take the RFID chip, that's actually an idol. Alright? It actually comes out as an idol. So it would make sense from the scriptures why it's a stamp, an imprinted mark. Alright, going back to that word stamp that we looked up, stamp simply means to pierce or to press downward with force. You see? So going back to Revelations 13 and 16, and causeth both all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. Alright? So that RFID technology is going to be implemented, man. You see? And when that's implemented, hey, you have to have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to really know what it's about. You see? So from there, let me go to Revelations 14. And verse 12. It says, here is the patience of the saints. Alright, who are the saints? The Israelites that are in the highways and the hedges, laboring for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright? Here are they that keep the commandments of our power Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. And I heard a voice from the heavens saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that their works do follow them. So like you said, the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Alright, so the ones that follow Yahweh Shai are blessed, man, because they're actually doing the work. Alright, and the works that they have are following after them. Alright, the things that the righteous things that they've done are actually being counted for. You see? Storing that treasure in heaven where neither rust nor moth corrupt. You see? And not here in the corruptible world, man. You see? So the mark of the beast, all right, the ones that don't receive the mark of the beast are the ones that are going to be doing the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, let me read that again in verse 12. Revelations 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. All right, now let's go to Leviticus 19 and 28. All right, Leviticus 19 and 28. And it reads, Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. All right, the Most High is saying this. Don't make any cuttings in the flesh or prints. All right. So if we look it up now in the blue letter, Leviticus 19 and verse 28, it says, for cuttings, ye shall not make any cuttings, which is sharat, all right, sharat, and it says incision, a cut. All right, so let's look up the word incision on dictionary. All right, that word incision is a cut, all right, a gash, a notch, the act of incising, a cutting into, especially for surgical purposes. All right, so a cutting into the flesh, you see? So the incision, all right, that you will have is when you're staked, all right, pierced, and then that RFID chip is pushed inside of you. All right, that's an incision. You see? It says con. That's it on that one. All right, so a cutting is an incision. All right, sharat, which is Strong's H8296. So going back, it says cuttings in your flesh. All right, so in your flesh, you should not make any incisions. You know, which really is talking about the RFID chip. You know, no tattoos and none of that BS. All right, but it's talking about the RFID chip more specifically. It says for the dead. Who is the dead? Esau Edom. All right, he's already the end. And when you have an end, that means you don't have it following after, man. All right, so let me prove that Esau Edom is truly the end. All right, so let me go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6 and verse 9. Straight to the point. It says, so okay, 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham and unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, so Esau is the end of the world, so he's already written through the Spirit that he's done away with. All right, same thing with Revelations 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with a sword must be killed with the sword. Now again, who was the one that killed with the sword? All right, now our people are doing it too. All right, but more specifically, it was Esau Edom, because that's his blessing. You see? So don't make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Don't make any cuttings in the flesh for Esau Edom, which he wants you to be chipped. All right? So going back to Leviticus 19 and 28, don't make any cuttings in your flesh, all right? An incision, that means to cut open the flesh and put something inside. It says, in your flesh for the dead, which is Esau Edom, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. Now let's look up that word print. To give, put, or set. Alright? To give, bestow, grant, permit. Alright? So don't permit any marks upon you. Alright? And now what's that word mark? It says kwai kwai from the etymology word Strong's H7085, and it says an incision, an imprintment, a tattoo, or a mark. Alright, same thing that we went over in the dictionary. Alright, it's talking about a stamp, being stamped. Alright, being stabbed, being when they stake you. You see? So keeping the commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in Leviticus 19 and 28, alright, it's telling you a commandment not to make any cuttings in your flesh. Alright? So that's really talking about the RFID chip, man. Because that RFID chip, if you receive that mark in your flesh, hey, you're done. Alright, you're done. You see, especially all you Negroes only, Hebrew Israelites, alright, saying that it's only blacks only. Alright, if you receive that mark of the beast, then you're done, man. You're done. Alright? It's not philosophy. You can't buy, you can't sell with philosophies. Alright, that's stupid, man. You see? So the mark of the beast is the RFID chip. You see? So going back to Revelations 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Alright? So what do you buy and sell with, man? What do these debit cards possess? What do they have? That little chip. And that chip is also on your phones. And that chip is also to use so that you can track down. You see? Hey, Esau Edom knows it too, man. He just said it. He just answered. He said it's a chip. Alright? That's the mark of the beast. And I've been proving it through the scriptures, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright? But that Edomite knew. You see, he was passing down, turned around, he said chip and he winked at me. Because he knows, he's excited for it, man. Alright, the RFID chip will be implemented. And it's been here. Alright, it's been here, man. How else do you buy your groceries? Go to a grocery store and tell them I'm a Christian and see if they give you any fucking food, man. That's stupid. You see? That's simple, being simple-minded, man. Alright? The RFID chip, when you go to the store and you show them your card, or you scan your card, alright? Now you don't even have to, swipe or go through your wallet and show them some, cash or anything, man. You see, now you just go up to to the system they have. You just flash your card and it'll read it. Just like that. You see? That's how simple things are gonna be with the RFID chip, but don't take it. That's why it's the time of temptation. Alright? You're gonna be tried, man. Your faith is gonna be tried. How much do you really believe that this is the RFID chip? Alright? How much do you believe that it is? You see? So we're rehearsing the righteous acts, and coming into rehearsing the righteous acts, then that's one of them. Don't take the RFID chip. Simple like that. IUIC and a lot of these camps, they believe it's philosophy, that it's Christianity, that it's this and that, but they're misleading you, man. They're doing that shit on purpose because they're fucking agents. Alright? Now you have a lot of IUIC elders, and they say that GMS, alright, Great Millstone, are a bunch of crazies because we won't receive the RFID chip to save our families. Well, what does Yahweh Shai say in the book of Luke 14? Let's see if I can get it real quick. Luke 14 and let me see. Let's start off at verse 23. It's a lot. Let me see. verse Luke 14 and 18. So like at 17. Let me start off at 16. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper, and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have brought a piece of ground, I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused. Alright, so there's no excuses to why you can't be in this truth. Alright, you don't have any excuses to why you can't go out to the highways and the hedges. You don't have any excuses, alright, to anything. Why you don't put up videos? Why don't you read? Why don't you study? You don't have any excuses, man. Now that you know that you're an Israelite, you have to constantly be trying to please Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Alright? But you're gonna try and make up excuses. Oh man, my wife just barely got this promotion and, she has to go do something. Hey, when it's, like the brother told me when I first came in, when it's time to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, then it's time to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Everything else comes second. Alright? So if on Friday, I want to go and have and live it up, but I have to go out on Fridays, and that's what I plan to do. Hey, that's what I should do. Go and serve the Lord instead of serve your own bellies. You see? It says, verse 18, and they all with one consent. Verse 19, it says, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So the servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the masters of the house, being angry, said to his servants, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. Alright, so to the true servants of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, they go out to the highways and the hedges, the streets. Alright, they go out to the streets of the cities, and they cry out to their people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the true Hebrew Israelites, crying out to them and let them know who they are, and bid them to the marriage. Alright, come into the marriage, man. You see? Which the marriage represents Yahweh Shai and the elect being together again. You see? It says, verse 22, and the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said, Salakia, said unto the servant, go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Alright, so that's why we go out to preach. We don't hide under churches where it's supposedly safe, alright, where it's not windy, where it's not sunny, where it's not hot, where it's not cold. We don't hide under those churches. We come out to where it's wrong, man. We come out to where we can get hurt, alright? Which a lot of brothers, after we preach this truth, people get offended, and they want to come up against you. You see? It says, and there were great multitudes with him, and he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me, and hate not his father, and mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So what does that tell you about IUIC? That means IUIC are not disciples of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. They don't even believe in the name Yahweh, which means he exists, and he is to be, and Yahweh Shai, which means he is the Savior. They don't believe in him. They don't believe in the words that he's speaking. They don't hate mother, father, sister, brother, son, daughter, mother, everything, even themselves, to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So if they say that we're crazy because we won't save our families with the RFID chip when it comes, then guess what? We are crazy, man. We are crazy. But guess what? We're looking at you like you're crazy. Alright? The time of recompense is now. Israel shall know it. Alright? The prophet is a fool. Let me get that. That's in Hosea. Amos 3. Hosea chapter 9 and verse 7, the days of visitation are come, the days of recompense. Now what does that word recompense mean? Alright, so the word re means again or to do again. Compense, alright, compensation is money. Alright, payment, you see? So recompense is a repay, alright, when you repay for what they've done, you see? Recompense. It says a verb to repay, alright? Remunerate, reward, as for service, aid, etc. Alright, so the day of recompense is come, payback. Alright, when people say payback's a bitch, alright, they mean that quite literally. You see? So the days of visitation are come. You're being visited, man. We're all being visited. You see? Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is finally waking up his people. And they're out in the highways and the hedges, as we read in the book of Luke, preaching what the truth is. You see? So now the day of recompense has come, man. That day of recompense is coming real soon. Brothers are having visions. Alright? They're seeing these things that are coming. Death, destruction. Alright? That goes hand in hand with the scriptures. Alright? It's not going to be beautiful at the end of times, man. And that's what a lot of you, like the Elder Tahar says, wacky, tacky Christians. That's what you believe, man. You believe it's going to be beautiful, when in fact it's going to be dark. Alright? Gloomy. It says, back in Hosea chapter 9 verse 7, the days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come. Israel, so like it, Israel shall know it. Alright? Israel shall know it. Who is Israel? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The ones that are going out to the highways and the hedges. Alright? 1/3 of those people will serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai at all costs, man. Alright? 2/3 of those people will fall. They will be against Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? It says, the prophet is a fool. Alright? Those people that you call teachers, those people that you say prophesy, they're fools, man. They don't know what they're saying. Alright? They don't know the truth. They don't know how to break down the scriptures. All they know is John 3:16. But that's not the whole Bible. Alright? That's not the whole New Testament, so-called. That's not the whole Apocrypha. That's not the whole Old Testament. John 3:16 is only a small fragment of the big picture. Alright? Because that world right there means cosmos. Alright? In the Greek. That word cosmos is a certain election. Alright? An election of people. Because if you go back to Isaiah 45, it tells you that Israel is the world without end. And Israel was a people before it was a place. You see? So your prophets are fools, man. Don't say it the scriptures. That's not what I'm saying. Alright? Even though they do sound pretty stupid with the things that come up. Alright? But the scriptures are telling you and letting you know that your prophets, they're fools. If they're not for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. The spiritual man is mad for the multitude of thine iniquity and the great hatred. Alright, so the spiritual, the so-called spiritual man, the so-called spiritual Christian, is not spiritual at all. Alright, it's telling you he's crazy. He's mad. You're the crazy one. You see? So for all those camps that go up against GMS saying that we're crazy, hey, you have to be a certain level of crazy to worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright? It's strange to these people when you go out to the highways and the hedges and you preach what the truth is. And they listen to you and they're like, man, this guy is a hater. This guy is a homophobe. Well, you don't even know how to break down words. Homophobic, alright? Homophobic, alright? Phobia is a fear of. So if you're a homophobe, you're supposed to fear homos. We don't fear homos, alright? The scriptures destroy homos. You see? We're not with lesbianism and you know, all this faggotry that's going on. You see? That's against the scriptures. And if you say you worship the Most High and you're okay with gays and lesbians, then you don't worship the Most High. Alright? If you say you're with the Most High and you still eat pork and you're still doing all these abominable acts and eating abominable foods, then you're not for the Lord. That's why Revelations 14 is telling you the ones that follow Yahweh Hashem Yahushua are the ones that are keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You see, but you don't keep them to the perfection because you're not a Messiah. All right? You keep them to the best of your ability. Don't shave. Hey, simple as not shaving. Who really does that though? You see? Don't eat pork. Who really does that though? Simple things, man. Simple things. All right? There's a lot of simple things that our people just can't do. You see? So going back to the book of Revelations 13. It's 16, and it causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, so how is he going to cause them to receive that mark? All right, he's going to force you. He's going to have, to force somebody doesn't necessarily mean you're going to bring them down and pierce them. To force somebody is to have no other alternative but to go that way. All right, say you build a city, and in that city it's supposed to be flooded, and there's only one way you can go out the city, and that's through this byway. All right, so if everything else is being flooded, you're forced to go down this byway. Same thing with Esau Edom. If you're trying to live, all right, those that seek their lives shall lose it, and those that shall lose their lives shall find it. What is that talking about? All right, it's talking about the ones that receive the RFID chip. You see, if you seek to save your life, like IUIC will, all right, granted, there's a lot of sincere brothers out there, so they're going to end up coming to Great Millstone, GMS, all right? But if Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is telling you, hey, you can't buy or sell unless you have this mark, man. So either you die of starvation or you come with us, all right? And you take this chip and you serve us. Then guess what? The people are going to be caused and forced to go down that river, all right? So how is he going to do that? With food, with children, more specifically with women, all right? Because women, they love to boss their men around. It's lucky. All right, women love to boss men around. That's just something they love to do. All right, they, like me and the brother were just talking about it. All right, they go see a movie and it talks about empowerment of women. Women are chosen ones. Women are strong, and women come out that theater like, fuck yeah, we are. All right, I was explaining to him about the Star Wars. All right, how that Star Wars movies really correlate with scriptural things. All right, don't call everybody. All right, don't look at everybody like, man, this guy has to be it. This guy is it, man. All right, because Anakin and Obi-Wan, they were real close since they were young, but it ended up that he betrayed him. All right, and he said, I love you like a brother. All right, but you betrayed me. All right, and that's the same way in the truth. You can't just take everybody for granted and say, yeah, man, that's a brother right there. All right, because that's not what it is, man. You have to be cautious about these things. And the elders will explain it. The brothers explain it. All right, the apostles will explain it, man. You can't be simple about these things, man. All right, the truth resides within the man of the Lord. You see, and more specifically, it resides within Israel. All right, within Israel, there's an election, and that goes to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
I just want to shake your hand and say much love.
Yeah, how's it going? But with a lot of this truth, just by knowing, just by knowing that you're an Israelite does not mean that you're saved. Now, what do you have to do to be saved, man? What do you have to do in order to be saved? All right? Hey, what did Yahweh Shai say to that man in the book of Luke whenever he was saying, Master, what can I do to follow you? All right? Well, who do I know is my brother? All right? They were asking him all these questions. You see, and one of them, he told them, well, how do you know you're doing good? And he said, I've kept the law, statutes, and commandments from my youth. All right? He said, I kept the law, statutes, and commandments from my youth, and I love my neighbor like I love, love your neighbor like you love yourself, or love your neighbors. He said, I love my neighbors. You see? And he said, do this, and you shall be saved. All right? Because you fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and all these things will be revealed unto you, man. All right? And then he was trying to catch Yahushai in a trap, you see? But, hey, it's simple like that, man. Follow what the Lord is telling you, and you will be saved. You see? It's not super complicated. He's not telling you to build a rocket, become an engineer, and then become a doctor, all right? And then become a lawyer, and then become a judge, all right? And be a police officer, and do all these things, and then come back to the scriptures and you will understand, all right? It's not telling you those things, man. It's letting you know, if you want to be a judge, all right? If you want to be a judge, see, if you want to be a king, if you want to rule well, if you want to learn, if you're sincere, start reading the scriptures, man. That's where Isaiah 30, or Isaiah 28, and verse 6, I believe. Let me get that real quick. Isaiah 30. This is Isaiah 30 to like Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Now, what is doctrine? Christianity is a doctrine. Catholicism is a doctrine. But what is the correct doctrine of the Most High? There's a certain doctrine out there that is correct. All right, out of all these doctrines, there has to be one that's correct. All right, and it resides within Great Millstone. Those men at Great Millstone have the truth. You see? So whom shall he make understand doctrine? All right, force you to understand, because nothing belongs to you. You have to know that there is no such thing as free will. All right, because everything is ultimately controlled by Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, it's like a director. All right, but more perfected. You see, a director has a script, which is the Bible. The director being the Most High, and then he has plays and parts for every single person. So every single person in this earth is playing their part, whether it be for good on the right hand side or for bad on the left hand side. You see? So the Most High is having certain people. Hey, I could say I could be in the truth for 10 years, but in the last year, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai kicks me out. And he only had me in the truth so that 2 more people could come into the truth. All right? It could be that way. All right? It really can be, man. You know, that's why you have to fear the Lord, because falling to the hand of the Lord is bad. He can destroy you. All right? If you're not of his elect, he can destroy you, man, and he will destroy you. You see? But it's always like Yahushua said, man, not my will, but your will be done. All right? Yahweh's will be done. You see? That's what you should pray for, man. The Lord's will be done. All right? That's why it's said in the Lord's Prayer. You see? He says, Rata Zakah, which means your will, Haya Aisha, be done. All right? Rata Zakah, Haya Aisha, your will be done. All right? So the Most High's will be done, and it will be done. So if he decides that you're not worthy, and you're not doing anything with your life to serve him, then you're going to be destroyed. All right? And for the past things that you've done, whether it be in your previous life, which Christians don't believe in reincarnation, but the scriptures clearly tell you about reincarnation. All right? Why else would they believe that the Lord was one of the prophets come back? Why else would Job 14:14 tell you that after he passes away and his will be done and he will desire a work of his hands? All right? So it's telling you and letting you know that reincarnation is true. You see, it's telling you and letting you know that these men that are out there teaching, letting you know these things, are actually men of the past. You see, coming back and letting you know the truth. You know? But who can really receive these things, man? Just like Elijah, all right, Yahushua said that John the Baptist was Elijah come back. If you can receive these things. You know? So whom shall he teach? Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, all right, which is the scriptures. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. All right, for with stammering lips he will teach his people, man. You see? It says, for with stammering lips and another tongue he will speak to his people. You see? So whether that be in English, Spanish, Japanese, German, you know, whatever the language may be, as long as this truth is being foretold to the people, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, then that's what our job was, man. That's what our job description is, all right? Also persecution, hate, all right, division, that all comes with the package, man. All right, you can't pick and choose what part of the truth you want, you see? So going back to Revelations 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Verse 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and his number is 666. All right, which in the Greek would be chi shai stigma. All right, stigma meaning to stake. Stigma also going into the word stigmata. All right, so stigmata in the Greek means to stake, to pierce. All right, so the RFID chip is a piercing that you receive in your right hand. All right, so going to Exodus, the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus, it's going to be chapter... Book of Exodus chapter 21 and verse 5. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, my children, I will not go out free. All right? Now let me look this up. Let me try and look this up. All right. Oppressor. Not showing up. All right, but Masha. All right, massa in the Hebrew really means oppressor. All right, so when Jake back in the day said I love my massa, all right, he was saying I love my oppressor. You see, so it says and if the servant, all right, which are you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to Esau, Edom, shall plainly say I love my master, all right, which is Esau, my wife and my children, I will not go out free. All right, so how do you go out free, man? To go out free and you know, the truth shall the truth shall set you free. All right, straight to the point. The truth shall set you free. Who is the truth? All right, we know Yahushua is the truth, our Savior. All right, so if he sets us free, our salvation is coming in chariots, so-called UFOs. All right? So if he's coming down with the clouds and the angels of heaven, he's coming down in those so-called UFOs. He's coming down in those so-called UFOs, all right? And he's going to set us free from bondage, all right, in the land of our captivity. You see? So if any of you Negroes, Latinos, or Native Americans shall plainly say, I love my master, all right, Massa, oppressor, Esau, my wife and my children, I will not go out free. Now, what did Yahushua say in Luke 14? All right, if he shall say, all right, none, if you don't hate mother, father, son, daughter, all right, and even yourself, you cannot be my disciple. All right, so he loved his wife and his children more than he loved Yahushua, so he went out not free. All right, verse 6, then his master, all right, which is Esau Edom, shall bring him unto the judges, and he shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master, Esau Edom, shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. All right, so those that worship the beast had no rest day or night, you see, because he was constantly in here. All right, he controls you. He controls what you do. You see, like in that movie, I believe it was called Time. Oh, it's with Justin Timberlake and Olivia Wilde. All right, in that movie, everybody was young. All right, no matter how old, how many years, you know, you were young. Your flesh was young, but you had a timer right here on your forearm, and on the forearm it said whether you lived 28 days. All right, the rich people had years. You see, so they were constantly working, and they were getting paid by days. All right, so really you would have no rest day or night. You would constantly be working, trying to have some type of life. See? So it said, so let me look up those words. Bore. Exodus 21 and 6. Alright, it says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges, and shall also bring him to the door, unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl. Alright, that word awl is maratazai, alright, which means an owl, a boring instrument, alright, something that you make a hole with. See, when you take an engine to a machinist, he's gonna do the bore to your engine, meaning he's gonna widen what's it called? You know where you put the, man, I can't think right now. The pistons, where you put the pistons, you have a bore, you see? And if you're gonna widen that bore, it makes it brand new, you know, to renew. So those people that receive that bore, all right, from that master, they're gonna have a hole made unto it, you see? So from their masters relating this, all right, this is what Hebrew men used to do, all right? But I'm relating this passage in Exodus 21 and 6 to Esau Edom, because that's exactly what he's gonna do, man. He's gonna bore you with that instrument, you see? It says a boring instrument, all right, so an instrument to make a hole with, and he shall serve Salakia through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. All right, now bore, to bore is to pierce, you see? So he's gonna pierce you with that boring instrument. All right, not boring as in not fun. It's boring as in, you know, let me look that up, bore. Bore definition 2, it's a verb, all right, it says to pierce a solid substance with some rotary cutting instrument, you see? So hey, that instrument that they use to plant the RFID chips are actually, let me see if I can look it up. You know, I've never been successful to find the boring instrument. Shit. RFID. RFID, man, boring cutting tool that they use is rounded at the point. All right, it's rounded with a point like a spoon. All right, so it's rounded so that way whenever it pierces you and they press down, stamp on you, all right, it's gonna press it out and it's gonna push it into your skin. You see, so going down, man, I can't find it. Let me see if I can RFID. Let's see, what did they word it? RFID cutting instrument. RFID cutting tools. Let's see if I can just find that picture, man. Chip. Alright, getting a little bit closer, you know. Oh, con. Oh man, that's beautiful. I need to save that too. That right there is the instrument that you use to cut with the RFID chip. You see how on this side it's rounded off, you know, so you can place the chip inside. So when you bore something, are you using a round instrument to make that hole? You see, so that's the same thing that they use with the RFID chip, using that round instrument to bore your skin and then push in that piece that makes you a servant to your master. All right, so serving Esau Edom, serving the flesh, all right, serving for your father, serving for your family, you know, that's gonna get you killed, man. All right, so for IUXC to say that GMS people are fools because we won't receive the RFID chip, all right, because they want to save their families, then hey, who's really gonna end up being the fool? You see, who's really gonna end up dying? You know, the ones that receive the RFID chip, the ones that receive to seek their lives, or the ones that reject their lives, all right? The ones that keep this truth even unto death, you see? So that part in Exodus 21:6 on down, all right, it's talking about, you know, serving that master forever, you see? Which, like I said, the Hebrew Israelites, all right, they used to have servants that were Hebrew Israelites, all right, but using this towards Esau Edom, which is a self-proclaimed white man, all right, letting them know, or letting the people know that that's exactly what he's going to plan to do, you see? So let me go back to Revelations. You know what, let me look this up real quick. Let's lock in. Right here. It says, I don't know if you can see it. It says RFID chip inventor says people should not take the chip. All right, Dr. Carl Sanders, and you can look him up. It says it will leak into the bottom and cause a horrible sore at the implantation site. All right, so wherever you put that RFID chip is gonna cause a sore, man. All right, so going to Revelations, I believe it was 16. Revelation 16. verse 1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. All right, so upon them that worship the image of the beast. You see, so that RFID chip is going to leak out. It's going to pour. It's going to pour out pus. It's going to have a sword. You see, and the inventor of the RFID chip told you not to take the chip, because if you take it, it will leak and it will cause a great sword. All right, so hey, all these things are not coincidences, man. There is no coincidences. You see, everything happens for a reason, you know? But hey, who's really, like I said, who's really gonna listen to these things, man? Like Yahushua said, like the prophets that said from before us, all right? Who really is gonna listen to this thing, man? Who's really gonna listen to what Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has to say? All right? So, let me go to Isaiah 33. If it sounds horrible, man, it's a lakia for the win. You know, there's nothing I can do. You know. Back in Isaiah chapter 33, I'm gonna start off at verse 2. Isaiah 33 and verse 2. O Lord, be gracious unto us. We have waited for thee. Be thou their arm every morning, and our salvation also in the time of trouble. All right, so that's talking to Jakes, all right, the Israelites. They will be saved by Yahweh the Most High in the time of their trouble. All right, like I was saying in that dream, that vision that I had, it was the time of trouble, man. All right, everybody was running around. Buildings were collapsed. All right. I saw a chariot and it just widened up. It grew. It was big. All right, and I knew what time it was, man. And in that time, everybody was freaked out. All right, everybody was freaking out because they didn't know what was going on. But in that time, that stability of my mind, all right, was my salvation, man. Because I knew what was going on. All right, so I knew where I had to go. You see. So it says, our salvation also in the time of trouble. At the noise of the tumult, the people fled. All right, so, hey, when all these things were going down, the people in my dream, they were fleeing away, man. They were running away from whatever was happening. All right, so it was pitch black when it happened. All right, but from afar off, I saw like if it was the morning. All right, or like if it was sundown. You see, there was a great flame of fire far off. It wasn't up in the sky, it was afar off. All right, so it wasn't really morning time. It was the time of morn. All right, the time of trouble. So it says, at the noise of the tumult, the people fled. At the lifting up of thyself, the nations were scattered. And your spoil shall be gathered like the gathering of the caterpillar. As the running to and fro of locusts shall he run upon them. All right, so hey, those ICBM missiles are gonna come real quick, man, and a lot of people are not gonna expect it. All right, except for the ones that are laboring in the truth for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, the elect and the great multitude will know these things, man. It says, and Yahweh is exalted. All right, the Most High is exalted, for He dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. And Zion is Israel. All right? So in the land of our captivity, we're finally waking up to the fact of who we really are, which are Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You see? Man, I don't know why, but, you know, across the street, the cars would always turn off when they come to the red light. And now, over here, they always do it too now. It's kind of weird, man. But, anyways. You know, it says, he hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness. Now, does that mean he filled a place? He filled a mountain? You know, what is it really talking about, man? It's talking about the Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans. All right, the election. He has chosen certain people to be filled with those judgments, that righteousness, all right, that wisdom, that knowledge, that understanding. You see, fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Like I said, in that dream, I was calm the whole way. You know, I was actually calm, and I knew where I had to go, what I had to do, who I had to pray to, what the names were. I had everything locked down, man. I knew the things that were going on, while everybody else was running around like chickens with their heads cut off. All right. Verse 6: and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right. So wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Now, when those times come, time of trouble, when that RFID chip is implemented, and when the martial law comes down, all right, and you can't do anything that you want to do, you see, and when all these things start growing, the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, all right, which is spirit is will be done, all right, and it will be done. You see, all these things will start coming to pass, and whatever the people have heard and didn't hearken to, hey, they're going to be afraid when it's all coming down, all right? And then they're going to ask, Lord, why did you do this to me? All right? We used to cast out demons, which I know a guy at work that says he casted out demons, all right, through other people, and he said the name of the Lord, and he went up to him, and he prayed over him, and all those demons were casted out. And this man, he was healed because something told him in his spirit that he had it. You know, they're preaching under the name of what's his name? Serapis Christos, man. They're preaching under that name, and that ain't gonna get you anywhere in the time of trouble. All right, because when these things really start happening, you know, the Most High, he's not gonna deal with you, man. You see? You're only having little crumbs right now. You see? Little crumbs of blessings, you know? But when Israel, he's chosen certain Israelites to follow, man. To follow him. You know? So that's it on there. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. All right? So that's what we have to do, man. Learn. Have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to discern the times. Because in that dream, I was the only calm one. Everybody else was freaking out. All right? Because the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding was the stability of my time, man. All right? That time of trouble. All right? And it was the strength of my salvation, because I knew who was going to save me. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? So we have to stay strong, man. So let me get that in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. All right, the children of thy people, which are Israelites, man. Straight to the point. All right. It says, and there shall be a time of trouble. All right. So the scriptures are letting you know that there will be a time of trouble, man. It says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book of life. All right? So if you're found written in the book of life, in that time of trouble, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is going to fight for you. You see? And that they, and many of them shall sleep in the dust of the earth, shall wake. All right? Reincarnation. Re meaning to do again. All right? Carnation. All right, in Spanish, which Spanish comes from, a lot of Spanish comes from Latin. All right, which really the head honchos, the Greeks, spoke Latin. All right, so re means to do again. Carnation in Spanish is carne, all right, which means flesh. Reflesh really is what it's saying. So reflesh is to come back into the flesh. All right, so the scriptures speak of reincarnation over and over and over, you see. But like the Lord said, who can really understand these things, man? All right, it says, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall wake. all right, which includes you Hebrew Edomites, all right. So the Hebrew Israelites come back into the flesh. Hebrew Israelites come back as Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Edomites come back as Hebrew Edomites. All right. It says, some to everlasting life. All right, the ones that wake up to the truth, listen to the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, listen to the prophets, starting from Elder Tahar on down. All right, and really hearken to the word. It says, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. All right, so that means you will live. All right, you Hebrew Israelites will live, but you will not live as kings. All right, you will live as something inferior. All right, but you're still gonna live, man, in the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many righteousness to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. All right, so hey, you're gonna be beautiful in the kingdom of heaven. All right, if you follow after the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you will be a king, you will be a ruler. All right, talking to the men. All right, because the women will not be queens in the kingdom of heaven. Lock it. All right, women will not be queens in the kingdom of heaven. All right, this is for men. You see, for the men of Israel, to the leaders. You see, that's really to who it pertains to, man. All right, so that RFID chip, man, all of these things are going to be coming to effect. All right, all these things are going to happen. You see, like it says in Habakkuk chapter 2. Shit. All right, Habakkuk chapter 2. It says, and Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right, Salakia, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. All right, you got to run with this truth, man. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. All right, though it seems like it's taking a long time, though it tarry. It says, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right, so it seems like it's tarry. It seems like it's gonna tarry, but though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So it seems like it's a long time from now. All right, but wait for it. That's the patience of the saints. Let patience work her perfect works. All right, tarry. That means to take long, but the Lord is not slack as we count slack, like the scriptures say. You see? So wait for it, man, because it's gonna come. All right. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right. So the just shall live by his faith. All right. So the soul that is lifted up in him is not right, man, and that's Esau, Edom. All right. The self-proclaimed white man. That soul that is lifted up in him, that prideful man, is not upright. All right. But the just, the ones that are justified, all right, will be saved by their faith that they have in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and their works do follow them. You see? It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, because he has no home, man. He was a vagabond from the beginning. You see? Who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death. All right, so is as death. Remember how we read in Leviticus, do not do any cuttings of the flesh for the dead? All right, Esau, Edom is that dead man. All right, he's the walking dead man. You see? It says, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and tanting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that leadeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for the booties unto them? All right, so let's reread verse 7. shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, all right, the Hebrew Israelites, and also your own Edomite people, all right, and awake, all right, the Hebrew Israelites, like we just read, to wake up, that shall vex thee, all right, those people vex you, man, all right, the Hebrew Israelites vex you, because from the womb you were at enmity against the Israel, all right, from the womb you were trying to kill Jacob, you see, it says, and thou shalt be for booties unto them. All right, Jake always says that's my booty when it's a woman. All right, the brother brought this point out a while back, and I thought it was beautiful because Jake always does that, man. That's my booty. All right, that woman is his spoil. Booty means spoil. All right, that's why the pirates, all right, which the brothers actually brought that out. The Vikings, the pirates, and all these other people were actually Jakes. All right, they were actually Jakes that were making up these things, man. But the pirates used to say, are my booty, all right, which is talking about my spoil, my treasure, you see? It says, and thou shalt be booties unto them. So like we read in Revelation 13 and 10, all right, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with a sword must be killed with a sword, all right? Here is the patience of the saints. So the patience of the saints is for you to become our slaves, all right, which you will be. All right, because that's judgment, man. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. All right, so Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to punish you for all the things that you've done, man. All right, so don't take the RFID chip. You know, and I'm only talking to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and more specifically to the ones that are serious about this truth. Don't take the RFID chip, all right, and follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, which goes back to Leviticus 19 and 28, which means don't do any cuttings of the flesh, don't take any tattoos, all right. Earrings, you can have earrings, all right, because that's a spiritual meaning that you belong to someone. See, which we belong to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, you know. So, you know, with that, brothers, I just want to say, stay in this truth and keep fighting, man. Keep fighting for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai daily, all right? Fasting, meditating, thinking upon the scriptures, all right? And really drawing yourself closer and closer to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, all right? So with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, giving double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well, and death to America, Abad Babal, Shalom Akim.